All right. Starting a new project today. But before we talk about that, let's just quickly mow the lawn, one thing at a time. Oh, there you go. So I know what you're thinking, Tone, you already have a ton of projects on the go. And that is true. Built this deck a year ago and it's still not stained. We gotta do that this summer. Now that the house is painted, gotta finish off the trim, gotta paint the back door. Front door needs to be painted, and the trim still needs to be done here too. Oh. And I thought I was gonna be done the basement by now, but I still have to prime and get everything else done down here. Now, because there's gonna be a garage here, we don't need any of this fence that's along here. And lucky for me, all this fence that's actually here is actually pretty new. This is all cedar. It was done semi-recently before we moved in. I'm actually gonna attempt to sell most of this cedar fence on Facebook to see if I can get some money back for building the garage, because the garage is really expensive, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Project number one, let's find someone to buy this fence and even get rid of it. Let's do that now. Project number two is this shed. This shed has to go. Obviously, there's gonna be a garage here, which means we no longer need this shed. Now, lucky for my brother, he is now gonna get a free shed out of this. So that means in the meantime, before the garage pad gets poured, and we'll talk about all that stuff in a bit, we need to find everything that goes in the shed, gotta go somewhere else in the house for now. Number two, get everything out of the shed. I think I can do that tonight. And then take it all down and take all the scraps out that I'm keeping for myself before I give him the bare bones.
Now at the time, I actually didn't think about that taking everything out of here was actually going to be the biggest pain in this entire project. Because if you're essentially getting rid of one storage space to build a bigger storage space, all that stuff has to go somewhere for a while. And I never really thought about the fact that, like, yeah, all this stuff has to go somewhere. And so now it's all over my basement, which meant I can't keep working on my basement while they were building the garage. And there's stuff along the side of the house, and there's stuff in random places, and it's completely unorganized. And so this step is just something I never even thought about, that how much of a pain it would make. And like, if you saw my yard right now, it's a mess. There is stuff absolutely everywhere. But yeah, one thing to warn for, living in a reno is, it gets old pretty quick.
What a mess. I can fix that. Okay, so shed's not coming down for like 4 days, so expensive stuff's gonna stay in here to stay protected. The rest of the stuff is now out there. Last thing I gotta do is take down these tracks, because these tracks are gonna come with me to the new garage, because these are mine. So I'm taking these with me. But yeah, for tonight, to finish up, take down the tracks, call it a night. There it is, almost fully cleaned out. On to the next day. Fence is sold conditionally. Hopefully they come take it down and pick it up, because I would really appreciate that. Shed is empty. Next two things on the list are going to be tonight. I just got back from the gym. I'm sweaty, I'm gross, I'm dirty. Might as well take out this tree. Let's do that next. Now, the reason we're taking out this tree is because it's gonna eat up way too much yard. Yes, when the garage is done, we'll be at a spot where technically we could leave the tree, but it eats up way too much yard. We get no sun underneath it here. All the grass dies. It's impossible to mow underneath it. In the winter, the heavy snow pulls it down, lands on our neighbor's fence, pulls it. It's a pain in the ass. So this lilac has got to go.
Now, one thing I didn't really think about when we were building the garage or doing any sort of reno is, it's interesting, once you live with something for a while, you get to see what it's like now living without it and see how that affects you. And the whole time we've had this lilac tree, I have hated it. Like I said, in the winter, it's a pain. In the summer, it's a pain. So I was very excited to have the opportunity to take this thing down. But now that it's down, there's parts of it that I do really miss. So I miss having the big greenery in the backyard. I miss having the little bit of shade. I miss the privacy from my neighbors in the back there that you can see. So although this lilac tree was definitely not something we ever planned on keeping, I definitely now realize it's something that I want to replace in some way. And I'd love to hear some options from people about what I could put along the side of this fence here. Where I live, I think an aspen columnar or something like that would be a really good option, but let me know. Do you have anything else you might want to try?
Boy, that went really, really fast. The only thing is, I have no yard now, and I gotta get it all out that gate and onto that pad so I can get it all to the dump somehow. But yeah, step one, pretty quick. Let me show you how it's looking. That makes our backyard look so much bigger. That's wild. All right, let's clean up. See, just look at all the dead grass that just would never grow. Too much shade. So when we're done, theoretically, this all will be grass at some point, hopefully. All right, honey. Yeah, grab her.
All right, Chewy. Let's go see. Oh my God, Tone. June, what do you think? Look. Go see. Go see. Looks good.
You like it?
I mean, I don't like the branches, but
It'll be fine. Check it out. And I did that, and then because you were taking so long, I ripped out the other lilac tree just now while I was waiting for you.
where'd it go?
Look in the back.
I don't want to. No.
Okay. Yay.
Good God.
Project done.
How was it to take out?
Fine. It legit wasn't bad. So we got a massive rainstorm yesterday, and what that meant was the shed that we want to take out can get taken out, and there's a bunch of damage to my house. So that's another day, another project. We don't have another rainstorm like that, hopefully for another 10 years. Today though, people just left and sold the fence. Sold it for $650, which is great because that covers the cost of the garage heater. Garage heater was $550, and now looks like the weather's gonna hold up today. So metal blade, I'm just gonna start cutting out the panels and see how far I can get today.
Now, the fence was kind of a love-hate relationship, and the reason I loved it was the way it looked, right? The cedar was super pretty. When I would clean it up in the summer, it looked great. Even right now, it's grayed out a little bit, but I always kind of brought it back to life in the year, and it just looked great, and it was holding up really well from a panel perspective. But the reason I was happy to see it go is because when they actually built this thing, they did not use any screws. All these panels were held together with crown staples, and then the panels were then nailed, kind of toe-nailed to these big 6x6 posts. And what that meant was every single panel was pulling away. So it was super easy for me to just get my recip blade in here, cut through all the nails, and remove these panels. And that's why I was also confident that I could resell this thing and definitely take it out myself, as I knew it'd be super easy just to break through those nails, cut through them here with a metal blade, and then look at the entire thing comes loose. And it took me one panel to kind of learn how to do this because there's a couple screws at the bottom. But after that, it was actually really quick just to pull all these panels out kind of one by one, cut through the nails, and just keep moving. And the nice thing was the panels transported really well as well. So it was kind of a win-win. I could get a little bit of money back for this, but again, someone else also got a really good quality fence that essentially by just replacing those nails with screws in their new location, they got a really high quality fence out of it here. And so it was essentially a win-win.
It works for now. 2 more to go. So the fence panels actually came out really quick. They were down in about an hour, and the guy, he came back today, bought them, paid for them. I was gonna come back later this week to pick them up, but they're out today, so he's gonna come back later today and hopefully pick them all up in 2 trips. And then I need to get some signs that say, you know, cameras on premises and stuff, because got a lot of stuff in the backyard that'll be exposed, unfortunately, but I don't have a solution for that. For now, I'm just gonna take some stuff out of the garden here, see what I'm working with underneath all these weeds, but you don't need to see that, so there you go. That's not that bad. I mean, it kind of looks like shit, but it's gonna look like that way for a while. It's just gonna be dirt, so kind of gotta get used to it. Garden is done, that's out. Let me show you. So I took all the pavers that kind of line this, and I stacked those up over here by our hot tub, because I think I'm gonna reuse those somewhere around here. They're good. And then I took all the rocks that were in there and I just kind of piled the rocks over here. I'm gonna try and sell those. Someone should take them. Someone should want these. Oh yeah, the gate. Took the gate off. That's easy. And then I did a little bit of weed whacking, just a little cleanup. So this should be gone by the end of today. The guy just needs to come pick it up. I realized I forgot to take this thing off. There we go. Let's move on. So it's the next day. I'm tired. I don't really feel like filming getting rid of the shed, so we're just gonna do one of these. Now, in reality, it was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. We basically took it apart, it came out in panels, took the screws out, put the screws back in. We did the most sketchy thing to get it in the back of the truck and then drive it down the highway home doing like 40, but it took like 3 times as long as it should have on the highway, but we got it there, and I'll go to my brother's house in a couple days and rebuild it for him, because that's who came and did it, was my brother, and my neighbor helped me out. So now I didn't know there was actually this platform here, so I'm gonna have to take apart this platform now and throw it in the dump pile over there. But other than that, a little cleanup. Garage is ready to start. Can't believe I'm saying that. This looks nuts.
So after I finished everything up here, I called the builder and said, hey, you guys are good to come start doing all your demo. And they came the next day, and they basically came with the skid steer, and they popped out all these fence posts because the guy that bought the actual fence wanted the posts as well. So they took all those out. This is our old fence that we share with our neighbor that they're going to take down and redo as well. And they gave me a little bit of a discount because taking out the fence now made them give them more access for the skid steer and more access just to build the garage. So they came in, did a massive demo day, and at this point it looked like everything was going to plan and they were moving really quick through all this. Until it all went wrong.
This is not how I'd expect today's video to end. So, the ending that I actually planned for this video was going to be that, oh, they do all this excavation, and then at the end I say, surprise, we're building this huge garage in the back. It's going to be my workshop, and we're doing all this stuff. Well, the end of the video is going to be, here's the mold for the concrete, and the next video starts with the concrete. But the first week of this project has not gone at all to plan, and I want to do the first video and get it out. So, at this point, we were supposed to be a lot farther along, even potentially pouring concrete today. They said they would start last Wednesday. They had a mix-up with another job that they're supposed to do. So Wednesday turned into Thursday. Thursday, they said, hey, can we come Thursday night? And I said, absolutely not. You're not bringing a skid steer back here while my neighbors are trying to sit on their deck at night. So then they said, okay, Friday. And then Friday, they let us know that their dump truck was down, so they couldn't get anything out of here. So the plan was to bring the skid steer, which is footage you already saw, come back with the dump truck at noon once it was fixed, and then take all this out of here and then make the concrete forms. The truck they took to get the dump truck broke down, so then they couldn't come back. So they left the skid steer here over the weekend. And then now the van that has all the molds and whatever they said is coming out of the shop this morning, and then they will be coming back today. But I don't actually know if they are coming back today or they're not. So this is what my yard looks like right now, and this is a realistic depiction of what it is like working with contractors and everything that can go wrong. Now, I'm not even going to talk about the money because that is part of this project. Is I went with the cheapest contractor I could find and vetted. Right there was that's step 2. It is cheap and what? I got to get this video out and they're not here, so I got to make a freaking ending to it now. I have a job. Leave me alone. Close your window. So that's where this video ends. Let's take a quick tour of our yard. So here's going to be our lovely garden with all the stuff they have to get rid of. This is our fence. This is the nice new skid steer. Now this is our shared fence with our neighbor that we are going to completely redo all along here because the old one was falling apart. And this is our yard today. Not great. So yeah, I'm hoping part 2 of this video basically just starts right after here and they show up later today, but I have no idea. So stick around for the next video to see how long this actually takes to get done.